Today is the feast of the Ascension. The passion, death, resurrection, and ascension are all considered part of a single event, which represents the fullness of the Paschal mystery. However, for liturgical purposes, the different authors of the Bible have separated Jesus' resurrection and ascension. Even Luke, who wrote both his Gospel and the Acts of the Apostles, have two different timelines for the ascension of Jesus. How do we know that Luke wrote both of these books? Well, if you read the beginning of each book, Luke 1:3 says, I too have decided after investigating everything accurately anew to write it in an orderly sequence for you, most excellent Theophilus, so that you may realize the certainty the teachings you have received. Acts 1:1-2. In the first book, Theophilus, I dealt with all that Jesus did and taught until the day he was taken up, after giving instructions to the Holy Spirit to the apostles whom he had chosen. The Gospel of Luke tells us about the life of Jesus, and the book of the Acts of the Apostles tells us about the missionary efforts of the apostles, especially how the preaching of the Gospel starts in Jerusalem and ends in Rome, the center of the empire. In an age of space travel, some people may ask the question, where did Jesus go? For the ancients, heaven was beyond the clouds. However, modern astronomy tells us there are other planets and galaxies beyond the clouds. As Jesus ascended, he disappeared from their sight. It was Jesus' way of telling them that he was going back to the Father and that he was going to heaven. It was the direction in which Jesus went, according to the apostles' understanding of where heaven would be. If he had simply disappeared from their sight, as he did when he appeared to Thomas and the apostles, or when he was dining with the disciples on the road to Emmaus, the disciples would still be wondering what happened to Jesus. Where did he go? In the seminary, the professor told me in more colorful language not to mess with mystery. Mathematics is the purest language. We can only think in 3 dimensions: height, length, and width. However, there is in mathematics formulae that deal with multiple dimensions. And there is more than 3. My answer is that heaven lies in a dimension beyond our comprehension. In the Acts of the Apostle, the angels explained what had happened. He was going back to his Father. Jesus' ascension is not just a historical event. It is also about the glorification during his return to the Father. It is about the glorification of humanity. Jesus never shed his human form. He kept human form. So when the Father looks upon his beloved Son, he noticed that he looks just like his adopted sons, you and I. Every time he looks at his Son, he sees the image of humanity. This section explains why the post-resurrection appearances of Christ ended. It signaled the completion of his mission. If Jesus remained on earth, he would have only been able to act, we would only be able to access him on an individual basis. Presumably he could bilocate and trilocate, but still, thousands of people would want to see him all the time, and he could not do so. The gift of the Holy Spirit has created what I would call a spiritual internet, so that anyone, anywhere, could have access to him. Without multiple access, the Holy Spirit could not do his job, which is as follows. When he comes, the Spirit of truth, he will guide you to all truth. He will not speak on his own, but he will speak what he hears, and will declare to you the things that are coming. He will glorify me, because he will take from what is mine and declare it to you. What did the angels tell the apostles in the first reading? Why are you just standing there gazing up to heaven? The implication was they need to get to work. Take the good news of Jesus to the whole world. Don't you know you have a mission? Shall we begin to preach the good news? Jesus has given us the Holy Spirit to help us to recall his teachings and have the courage and ability to teach the others well. Do not be afraid to speak openly about our faith. Please spread the good news.